Welcome to the smoke where the leaf meets the flame. Tobacco G-Sticks just stepped in the game. Ash in the air, bourbon in the glass. Pull up a chair, this combo's gonna last. He's rolling deep with that smooth cigar talk. Knows the leaf life, yeah, he walks the walk. From seed to stick, he's lit with the facts. Bringing bold takes and that fire to match. G-Sticks in the house, let the smoke rise high. Welcome to the leaf and ash, reach in the sky. Stories get sparked, wisdom gets dropped. With G-Sticks on the mic, it'll never stop.
Hey.
Woo. Yo.
Man, you hit it on that one.
Yo.
Hey.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Leaf and Ash podcast. I'm going to go around the room and introduce everybody. We are missing one for a short period of time here. Panda will be joining us shortly. But I'm one of your hosts, the Cigar Don. Over to my right here in the top right corner, the man behind the curtain, as Panda calls him, the one-finger pecking sensation.
Yeah.
JJ, aka Cigar Mug. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing? Nice to see you, Jeff.
And on the bottom right, the big dog himself, Mr. PC Silverback. What's happening, PC?
Man, what's going on with you, man? Hump day.
Hump day is right, man.
Yeah, that's
Get us over it, man. Get to the weekend. And our special guest today, as you can see on the bottom left right now, will soon be in the middle once Panda shows up, is Mr. TobaccoGstix. Jesse, how's it going, man? Welcome to the show.
Good. I'm glad to be here, man. Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome. And that intro song was fire.
That's
like
fire.
Who made that?
Hey, he's going to
That was
pass that
fire.
on to you. That's going to be your theme song from here on out.
Hey, I can send you that full song.
Heck yeah, bro. Send that
Nice.
to me. That is
Nice.
badass.
Yeah, nice. JJ comes through once again on the song.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we got Jesse here, and Jesse's got some. We'll get into it as we're talking today, but we got a special event coming up here, and but first, I just wanted to get to know Jesse a little bit. Tell me about yourself, man. Tell me what's your background in cigars. How? Go ahead. PC, you got something?
Hold up before we get into it, Jesse. We need to know what everybody's smoking.
Oh,
and
you're
drinking
right.
tonight.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a novice. You're right.
Hey, it's okay.
JJ, what are you smoking and sipping on tonight?
I am smoking the Foundation Wise Man Maduro, and I'm washing it down with some Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Ah, the kicking chicken.
The kicking.
There it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
What about you, PC?
me personally, man, I got the Romeo and Julieta White 150 anniversary.
Nice.
I'm taking it down with a little tequila and lemonade.
Hey.
Ooh.
Nice. And myself, I'm smoking the West Tampa Red Label.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As you guys know, it's my favorite cigar. And I'm washing it down with a little homemade old fashioned here.
Perfect.
How about you, Jesse?
Nice.
What are you smoking on? I know.
Well, I am. Well, I am smoking a brand new cigar that's about to release here in August. This is a collaboration between me and Honeybee Cigars, who I rep for, and we came together to create this little guy here, the G's Flying Bees.
Nice.
And so, yeah, this guy will be released in August.
I love that size. I love that size, man. I really like that size.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Blacks? How you doing, man?
Yeah, the size was really a big thing for me because I wanted, being that always on the go all the time, I wanted something carry friendly,
Yeah.
Right.
not a big long Toro or whatever that, maybe you don't want to take your whole travel humidor. You just want to take one cigar, throw it in your pocket, go,
Yes, sir.
And with the size, being 4.5 by 60, you still get the length of the smoke. You still smoke it for hour and a half,
So Jesse, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. How did you get started in cigars? What's your background in this? And I know you rep for a company, and so give me a little bit about your background, about what makes up
Well,
Jesse.
Well, Jesse is just another dude that really likes cigars. That's it. You know, I've been smoking cigars for about 20 years. It was never a huge thing. It was just I enjoyed them. I smoked them. It was more like on the weekends doing yard work and barbecue and stuff like that. And then it progressively, started smoking them every day. And I got into a point in my life where I can change things. And so I decided, what, let me go for this, for the cigar industry real quick because the way my brain works, I need to know everything. I need to figure it out. I need to research it. I'm not going to talk about it if I don't know it because that just makes you look dumb.
Mhm.
And so that's what I did. I started researching more, learning the different blends and flavors and creating a palette. Because when you're not really paying attention to that stuff and you're just smoking a cigar, you don't really have a palate. You're just smoking a cigar. you
Mhm.
know and so took the time to develop my palate and actually sit there and concentrate on things that I'm tasting, this cigar versus that cigar. And then I decided to go even deeper because I did that with like TikTok and stuff.
Mhm.
And then I met the cigar loons through there, bunch of great guys, and then I ended up being part of their podcast for a little while. And in the middle of that, I decided to start my website. So I started my website actually a year ago today. Today's the anniversary for the
Really?
website. Yeah.
Happy birthday! Happy anniversary, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Actually, I completely forgot until I saw it this morning on my email. I was like, oh, shit. Uh, but yeah, I started it as a place where people can go to get information. You know, uh, I don't sell cigars on my website or anything like that. It is strictly just reviews, blogs. Um, every now and then, depending on what's happening, I'll do a news article, uh, or I'll do a lot of blogs about like pairing, what to pair with what, things like that, and just and yeah, and so the website started doing really good. I started getting really busy and met Bree from Honeybee Cigars. That led to even more work and being more busy. So then I left the cigar loons to just focus on this.
Yeah. So it's
Awesome.
it's a passion.
Yeah,
So I,
absolutely.
I, I got to ask you real quick because you said something about smoking for over 20 years. Do you remember your first stick that you even smoked?
Yeah,
Tell me about
yes.
that.
The very first stick I smoked was a Cohiba Habano. That was my first cigar. Um, and being from Puerto Rico, I grew up with a lot of people around me smoking cigars, and one day I decided to try a cigar. And the thing that I remembered when I was at the shop was, oh, Cohiba, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I grabbed. And, I enjoyed every single bit of it. I'm pretty sure I actually did fuck up the cut on it, but new guy shit.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But
Hey,
yeah, that was my first cigar was the Cohiba Habano.
so where is that in your rotation? I know you got a lot of things going on, and you got different sticks that you smoked over the years. So where is that particular stick in your rotation right about now? Because I guess all of our first sticks, stick out in our mind.
Oh yeah. Um, so I'm mainly smoke more boutique now than anything else.
Hmm.
But of course, I still like my premium brands as well. Uh, and that Cohiba, that's a brand that will always have you know a part of me all
Yeah.
the time. you know. And the Cohiba Habano is a cigar that I'll smoke that maybe once or twice a year now. I don't smoke it every day. I don't want to smoke it every day.
Right,
It's a nostalgic cigar for me.
right, right.
And so on a nice special occasion, a birthday, something like that, that's when I like to go get my Cohiba and just be like, all right, let's chill.
Mhm.
Sweet.
Right, right.
So before I ask my next question, I wanted to introduce our fourth co-host here, the Cigar Panda. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
what do you-
I deeply apologize. I have had some serious technical difficulty. It looked like my entire system crashed.
Wow,
Oh, jeez.
My laptop is completely crashed. So
Wow.
I'm using my phone, so I do apologize, Jesse, for my tardiness. Um, I got caught in traffic. I could go on and all the things that went wrong, but I'm not. That's not what we're here about. I do apologize. Exactly.
Hey, do you know what? We're here, and now we're gonna collaborate and have camaraderie.
Oh, dang.
Damn.
I just got here. I
Damn.
just got here.
And we might talk
Don't-
about the
don't
coffee,
mind these
sneakers,
fools.
and water.
That's right. Coffee,
Damn.
sneakers, and water. Exactly. So
Hey,
I was
look.
watching.
Just don't tell me to say anything with the letter J, okay? Just forget about it.
That's right. So I know that you guys spoke about you drinking, what you smoking. I'm finishing up my Woodford Reserve, and because we have the guest of honor, I am smoking the King Reserve
Hey,
edition by Honeybee, guys.
Nice.
here we go.
I love it.
My man.
Nice.
Which is,
Boy.
I'm very interested in meeting everyone from Honeybee. I know that you're basically the one of the main promoters, especially in this Jacksonville boutique cigar festival. Is it the first one, correct?
Yeah, this is the first one.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And I know Don is leading this ship, so I don't want to jump in and take over the way I just had to have. I apologize. But I know you guys have questions, but go ahead. I showed up late. I know. I'll take the.
You go sit in the corner now.
Put my dunce hat on.
Yeah, big ass hat.
I'm out.
Wow.
I'm just playing.
So Panda just led us kind of into there. Tell us a little bit about the Jacksonville Boutique Cigar Festival. How did it come about? Give us the dates, give us the particulars on it, and just kind of tell us what it's all about.
So, the Jacksonville Boutique Festival started as an idea that Bree had. Bree is one of those people that that the brain don't stop, right? And so she's thinking, and she comes up with this idea. She talks to Brian from Church Tobacco, and he was all about it. And then then I find out, and then I'm like, absolutely, I'm going to be part of this. Like, yeah, let's do it. And it was, like I said, it was just an idea, just a small venue with just a few brands, something intimate, cozy, where you can really get to know a brand owner versus, the bigger events that you don't really get that time. And we were looking at 10 vendors. We ended up with 11,
Nice.
and it was like we were turning down companies because we have no more room. And we're like, dude, this is crazy. Like, this was just a thought. Like, and we didn't think it was going to go like that, And because of that, this society has emerged, the boutique cigar society. And we want to create this as a family. We're not looking for a membership from anybody. You don't need to pay us a membership. You don't need to do any of that. We are just here to bring visibility to all the small brands, you know, all the boutique brands that you know they can't get all that visibility at PCA and stuff like that. I mean, that's just really for the big guys, you know. And we want something that the boutique community can come together and enjoy as a family and make it, you know, where it doesn't matter who you are. You could have one cigar in your line, you could have 15. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because we're not here to judge your brand, judge your line. No, we want your brand to grow and succeed, and that's what we want for everybody. So it's love for everybody, and just have this family vibe between the boutique brands.
Nice, nice. So you're out on the West Coast, right? You're in. So what made you decide on Jacksonville? What was that? Just kind of a
Well, that's that's where Bree Honeybee Cigars is at.
Mhm.
Um, and we, or not we, but she, starting out this event, we wanted to look at places that we already knew and that she already knew.
Mhm.
So finding the venue, that was easier to do there, with her being there and knowing the area and all that stuff. Um, and then, like I said, it was just a small venue that we didn't even know we were going to fill.
nice, nice. Now you're at 11 when you wanted to be at 10. So sounds like it's going to be a success. And
Oh yeah.
so I got a couple more questions, but I'm going to pass it on to JJ. If nobody hits my questions on the way around, I'll hit you up at the end. So I'm
Okay.
gonna
Sounds good.
pass the mic to JJ.
All right. Well, brother, thank you for being here again. It's
Absolutely.
always nice having you here. And I just got a few simple questions. And one is, when it comes to the cigars you like to smoke, what do you look for as far as body and strength? What's something you like?
I'm more of a full body smoker, uh, a medium to full, but most of the time a full body. I want something. I'm already a very high strong person, you know, so I like smoking something that matches me,
Right.
you know, and a lot of times what I'm drinking may or may not influence what I'm gonna smoke. Um, but 90% of the times, I doesn't matter what I'm drinking. I'm gonna go for the cigar that I enjoy, and I like I said, I really enjoy a full body cigar, something that's it's got a kick that you're going to have a mouthful of flavor, you
Hmm.
know, but at the same time, I don't want a cigar that's going to be harsh, you know. I want to be able to enjoy that cigar from beginning to end, nice and smooth with good transitions.
Absolutely. And you brought up drink. Do you have a favorite pairing? Whether it just be any type of bourbon, a soda pop, or anything like
My
that?
go-to pairing, it's always a bourbon.
Okay.
Um, if I go to a lounge, then it might depend if I go for just the bourbon or if I go for like an old fashioned.
Right.
You know, um, if I'm smoking something lighter, then maybe I'll do like a mojito or something like that.
Okay. No, I've
You know,
never.
just whatever's gonna match
Yeah,
the
I mean, because you don't.
flavors in the cigar. You know,
Yeah, because you don't want your drink to overpower your cigar, or even vice versa.
I bet
exactly.
you. I bet you a mojito would be. I've never had a mojito with a cigar. I bet you that'd be an
Mhm.
interesting pairing with the mint and all that. The
Oh yeah,
yeah, that'd be an interesting pairing.
Well, it's
and
even
see,
like
and I don't even do a regular mojito either.
Oh no.
I do a version of a mojito. I do a cucumber vodka mojito.
oh
Nice.
So it's light, it's refreshing, and if you're smoking a lighter cigar, it
yeah,
doesn't overpower it, and it helps bring out a lot of the good notes from that cigar that you probably wouldn't taste if you didn't have like the freshness of the cucumber.
Yeah,
oh
and a lot of these boutique cigars that we're experiencing here, with their lighter cigars, with their Connecticut's and stuff, they actually have a little bit of punch to them, a little bit of
Yeah.
a lot of flavor and a little bit of punch to them. So I think if you get into some of the what I'll say old school Connecticut, where you don't get a whole lot of flavor and that kind of stuff, but some of these newer ones,
Oh yeah.
I think we can pair them up
Well,
nice.
I
Sorry, JJ, I didn't mean to jump in on you there, but
No, you're fine. And and I've noticed too on a lot of the boutique Connecticut's, they're putting a lot of high priming Lajero and
Yeah.
that filler. So it's definitely it's creamy and it's smooth, but it also has a little kick to the back of the throat.
Exactly.
And and that's that I always say, boutiques, they have the balls to jump outside of the box because nobody's going to do that with a Connecticut.
Exactly. And it's funny because last night we're on a different podcast and we were talking, and we kind of came in that same topic where it's like the boutique brands, a lot of people are like, okay, boutique versus premium, right? And somebody commented, it was just like, well, premium, and it's like, it's true. You can't really say premium, legacy brand, okay, but premium, that's saying that they're premium it would be like saying that we use tobacco that's less par,
Right.
which is not. We try our best to go above and beyond to find the certain tobaccos that are going to bring the flavors that we want, because we don't want to be like Joe.
Right.
There's already 15 Joes, So, and that's the thing that I love about boutiques is that the boutique brands put so much heart into what they're making, every single step of the process, that brand owner is there,
Uh-huh.
and nothing against, the big guys, but the big guys are the big guys, right?
Mhm.
And they have their group of blenders and this and that,
right.
And so, the boutiques, although they call them boutiques and not premium, I want nobody to ever think that it's not premium. We use very high quality tobacco. A lot of this tobacco sometimes is from smaller, farms that can't produce enough for the big brand, but that's
Right.
perfect for us.
Absolutely.
Well, and we always say here that the boutique guys and the craft cigar guys, they're the mad scientists. They're the ones that are playing around with the blends. They're the ones that
Exactly.
are you're getting those
I'm trying to behave here, man. Listen, I showed up late. I'm in the corner. I'm in timeout.
Oh, dude, it happens.
Listen, man.
Damn.
I'm working on it, though. I'm still working on my OnlyFans. Call it the Panda fans. They're not yet, but go ahead. We're working the Panda shop, baby. I'm just trying to behave. That's all.
But anyway,
But hold on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, go ahead.
Premium is the word premium is subjective, and a
Right.
lot of people need to understand that it's subjective. What premium to you might not be premium to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like anything else, right? My palate is going to be different from any of you guys' palate. We might have some similarities in the cigars that we enjoy, but there's certain cigars that you might enjoy that I might not.
Exactly.
And you might consider it a premium cigar, and I'm like, it's an okay cigar.
Right.
It's very subjective, and you know what? This
Right.
whole cigar world that's all it is. It is subjective, and people need to, and we've had this conversation on multiple occasions, that don't try to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Like, the legacies are always gonna have their fan base. The legacy people are always gonna enjoy the Padrones. They're gonna enjoy the Fuentes, the Placenses, the Jaime Garcias, etc. Right? But the hardest part for boutique, and I said it, the hardest challenge that a boutique company has is to get their stick into someone that all they smoke is legacy.
Yes.
To their hands. That's the hardest part.
And seeing that as a cigar rep, it's crazy. You tell these guys just think outside of the box and just let the cigar speak for itself. I'm gonna leave these on the counter and I'm gonna walk away. I'll follow up in a week.
Yeah.
I think part of it too.
works, and sometimes it's still in the sealed bag, and I call back a month later and they still haven't tried it. But let the cigars speak for themselves.
I think
Yeah.
part of it too is educating the tobacconist. Letting them know that if customer A likes I'm just going to bring out this Padron 7000. Well, if you like that cigar, you might really like this honeybee. Whatever line you might really like that one. So go ahead and get your Padron. Go ahead and buy your Padron, but maybe pick up one of these honeybees as well,
Right.
and
Exactly.
give it a try. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul. But you might find that and like we said, you guys are the craft guys are just mad scientists. They're trying different blends, and those legacy guys don't have to do that.
No.
No.
The cigars are selling themselves. They don't have to go out and do something different.
Yeah,
And
they put the name on it, and that's it. It's sold because that
Mhm.
name, it's already known.
Right.
Well, and a lot of the times it's just the same cigar, different band. We've talked about that many times, but it happens.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same cigar with a different band. And it's like you said, they just think outside the box. And like David Garofalo said, and we've mentioned this many times, the pyramid.
Oh yeah.
The big boys, they don't need any of our help.
Right.
And they never will. And most of them don't advertise, they don't do anything, they don't do events. And then you got these boutique brands that are willing to go broke. They're one bad blend away from filing for bankruptcy, but
Yeah.
they're still pushing it out. And that's the passion that I love in a
Mhm.
boutique brand. And that's why
Absolutely.
me as a rep, I'm only ever going to rep for boutique brands.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
And that's the same thing, with me, like I'm only going to rep boutique brands.
Yeah.
If you see, not on my website, because on my website I'll review all sorts of cigars, right?
right.
But if you go, for example, and you look at my newsletter, I don't put anyone on my newsletter that is not boutique. I that's all my newsletter is for. Is for boutique brands. It is for the same thing like BCS is for people to get to know the brands, and get the exposure and the visibility, because at the end of the day, we're here to help each other out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We are here. People talk about the brotherhood of the leaf. Well, yeah, it is a brotherhood, and as a brother, we're going to lift each other up. I'm not gonna bash your cigar, bash your brand, just because it's not my palate. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're here to all do the same thing, and we all want to go up together. And so, yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna go ahead and I have a few more questions for you. I'll swing back, but I'm gonna go pass the mic to PC real quick.
Yeah, Jesse, forgive me if I don't ask a lot of questions, man. It's been a busy day for me. But I was thinking about what you were saying about, you got like 11 vendors coming out. What does it take to organize an event like you guys are putting on, and how many spaces are you allowed to have for different vendors, or is that a whole different um,
Well, that's just part of
process?
that's just part of looking at the venue,
Mhm.
and then once we look at the venue and see the space we have and everything, then we can figure out how many vendors we can have, right? We'll measure out, tables, this, that. Okay, we could have this many, whatever, you know. So the venue being smaller, that's why we went, saying, okay, let's go with 10 brands, because obviously you're still going to have, the food and the DJ and the bar and so you got to have room for all that too. And once we did that, that's it. We were in. We got the venue,
Right.
and then now it was really about, getting in touch with people and letting them know what we were all about, what we're doing, and getting people to come on, you know.
Right.
And one of the big things is, like, for example, the Pensacola Cigar Weekend, right? That was great because Honeybees was there, Hayes Gray was there, I believe Sassy Soul was there, all those people, and so Bree got to meet them, smoke their cigars. They conversated, and you know, got this bond, and then now all of a sudden we're all thinking the same, and we're all together now. Like, yeah, let's do this event. You know,
Right.
and that's really all it is. Is once you talk to the person and you let them know what we are actually about, then
Mhm.
usually they're always in, because
Mhm.
like I said, we're not here to make a giant profit of anything. We're here to help everybody. I mean, I'm not going to go into cost or anything like that, but even the entry for the vendors
Right.
to want it to be, even that price was ridiculously low,
Right. Right.
for what we're trying to do. And that's perfect for the boutique brands because we ain't got all that money.
No.
Right. Right.
Right.
And I get it. You're trying to put boutiques on the front lines per se, but how
Hmm.
how hard is it for you to even get those boutique brands in the stores? And what obstacles have you encountered in that process?
Well, the only brand that I uh, rep for to put into stores
Hmm.
is really just honeybees.
Talk about
Uh,
it.
and with honeybee, really, it's I'll go into a shop or a lounge,
Hmm.
and the first thing I'll do is I'll walk up to the bar, I'll grab a cigar, order a drink, and then I introduce myself.
Hmm.
I don't want to just walk up in there and just be like, "Oh, here's some cigars. I'm a rep." No, let me go in there and spend some money on you first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna smoke your cigar. I'm not gonna sit there and smoke mine. I'm gonna smoke yours.
Right.
Then I'll ask for the owner or the manager or whatever, and I'll sit down with them. You
Right.
know, and if they don't have time to sit down, look, I'm gonna give you a couple sticks. Let me know what you think, and then I'm gonna call you, and then we're gonna sit down,
Right.
Hmm.
because that's the thing. I don't want this whole unpassing, me just standing at the counter talking to you. No, let's sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a real conversation. Let's talk about the brand. Let's talk about the blends. You know, so that way they actually know what they're getting. You know, and I can't say really anything about honeybee that I don't like.
Right.
I mean, it's just like what you guys were saying with the Connecticut's. I mean, the Connecticut, the Queen Lucilla is a Connecticut that has flavor and it has a kick,
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
know. And so those are even the Connecticut, which is something that I would be the last thing to choose. The Honeybee Connecticut is fantastic.
Okay. So, how much input have you had when it comes to creating those sticks or
Well, all those other sticks are hers,
right?
so I had no input on any of that. But this guy, we had. I mean, it was a mutual thing the entire time.
Right.
There was there was nothing that got done without me saying okay and her agreeing also. I mean, it was a very mutual thing. We worked with the factory together. We both talked to the factory, figured everything out. We
Right.
both tasted the blends. We gave each other input on the blends that we were smoking, and then to decide with the final blend.
Okay.
So working with Bree to create a scar, it absolutely fantastic. I mean, it is one on one the entire time. Like you're not getting side blinded by nothing.
Okay. Now here's the curveball. So, um, for all the new smokers that's getting used to your brand that you're pushing,
Hmm.
what would you tell them about the stick so to make them want to come buy that stick? Because I'm looking forward to it myself, and I hear a lot of good things about it.
Well, number one is that they're nothing like anything else, you know,
Hmm.
which is exactly what you want to hear from a cigar brand. You don't want the same cigar that you could smoke anywhere else.
Nah. Yeah.
And we really look at high quality, well aged tobacco that is going to input such a flavor that you're gonna want to smoke it again. You
Right.
know, and that's really. how we do it. Everything that we have in the line has been created in such a way that I could give you very confidently a sweet tip from our line, and I know you're gonna like it,
Okay.
even if you're not a sweet tip smoker.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty much where I can put it, because I'm not a sweet smoker or an infused smoker either.
Right.
But the two sweet ones we have, fucking love.
No, I
'Em, You
feel you.
know,
I feel you.
the,
And
the, the,
every once in a while, I'll venture off on a sweet tip, and there's only one brand that I will smoke, but I'm not gonna take up all of your time. I'm gonna pass this thing on over to my man Panda here. Panda, you out the gates. You off punishment. Do your thizzle bizzle.
time out is over.
What's going on, guys?
Damn
But
it.
listen, listen. Once again, Jesse, I appreciate you taking the time with us, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Hell yeah,
So,
bro.
so the dates on this is what? Because there was somebody, one of our followers, Pat. He wanted to know where in Jacksonville, the dates and the time it's going to be on Jacksonville. So
Yeah.
let's get that. Let's get the venue out.
So
Let's put
yeah,
it
let's
out
get
there
it. Let's
now.
get into that. So the event will be in Jacksonville at the Experience venue. Okay, you can look it up. It'll come right up on Google. The Experience venue. We are going to start at at noon, going to 4. So it's going to be 4 hours. It's going to be August 23rd, and it's like I said, it's going to be small, cozy. We're going to have all the different brands there, and they are open to do whatever they want. Also, like if they want to do raffles or giveaways themselves, so every brand has open range to do what they feel like. You know, um, Along with us having Ish from Banff. He's actually going to be our guest of honor, and he's going to be rolling fresh cigars live right there to that everybody will take a fresh cigar from Ish.
That's a cool experience right there.
Now,
Yeah.
there is a website that you guys have. Is that correct? Where can they find if they want to go to the event itself?
So we don't actually have a website for the event. The event is on Eventbrite. So Eventbrite is just an event website where you could purchase tickets from. But you could go to Eventbrite, look up the Jackson Cigar Festival. It'll come right up. It'll tell you who all of our vendors is, what the agenda is, what we're going to be doing. Um,
I'm looking
a
forward
lot
to
of
it because
people
you're
ask,
offering a lot. Yeah,
what are you getting?
mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Now, besides getting, a freshly rolled cigar from Mish, which is already fantastic, you are going to have, you'll take with you. You are going to experience, going to be one of the very first people to experience brand new. Besides that, we're going to have great music and a great atmosphere with great people. And the last thing I always say, because it's what excites a lot of people, and then we'll have a 4-hour open bar with selected curated drinks based on the brands.
Did you hear that, guys? Curated.
Curated.
Just saying.
Finally curated.
But are they carefully curated? That's what I want to know.
I'm just saying. You
Yeah,
heard
Jesse,
it. You heard
Jesse,
it.
Well, I haven't met the bartender yet.
Jesse, that'll make sense here in a little while for you. But yeah,
Hey, Kurt says the Candela by Honeybee is very nice.
Nice. Oh, there was another question.
Yes,
by
what's up,
Merch.
Kurt? Yeah, and see, and that's what I mean. Like all of this, I mean, the Candela is something that, like, for example, Silent Hero with his Candela. Bryce has an amazing Candela. And
Yeah.
a lot of people love that candela, and I love that candela. But if you smoke our candela and his candela, you cannot compare them. They're not the same.
Right.
There's very, very different in flavor profiles. Like, yeah, you're still gonna get that candela, obviously, but the intended blend at the very end, it's not the same. So it's a different experience. And that's exactly what we want, is everybody to have a brand new experience with a cigar. And that candela that he's talking about is this guy right here,
Nice.
The Reap.
Reaper.
the
Dude, I
Lost
love
Reaper,
Also,
that band is insane.
right? And so I mean, the lighting here is kind of crazy, but yeah, this is the candela. um and actually this is the other one that is, because these didn't have bands. So when we released these, they were like spur of the moment, like, here's these cigars, no names, no nothing. Like, all we had was, we put a little chain with a skull on it, and that's it. And then they did great, and so now we're banding them and putting them in the line, completely. And this is the other one, which is, let me take it out of the wrapper.
Yo, Tom from the Misfits said the Misfits will be in the house in Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right. They are. Like, damn near all of them will be there.
Oh, hell yeah.
But so this is it's called the Lost Sting. And, it's got a pretty wicked bee back there. And this is our sweet tip Habano closed foot.
Oh, nice. So I bet that rush you get once you get through that closed foot with that sweetened tip, I bet that's a nice experience overall.
Yeah.
So Jesse, Lurch had a question. What is your favorite honeybee?
My favorite honeybee is La Loca Leland. La Loca Leland. Here, let me grab you one.
Kurt says Don will love the green tea in that cigar. And dude, and what I try to tell everybody, even at that last event that I did, the Madison,
Cool. La
I
Loca
get
Leland
green
is
tea.
a box press Cameroon.
Nice.
Oh,
Your
nice.
guys' bands are on point.
And this one is also a closed foot cigar. And this is my favorite one. This is, I can smoke this breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like, you know, I can't get tired of this cigar.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. So it's going to be on August 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jacksonville's first. I guess Jacksonville. I mean, you're one of the promoters, right?
Right,
Do
right.
you? I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Jess. Do you know all your vendors are gonna be there?
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Shoot 'em
we're
out.
going to have Honeybee Cigars, Church of Tobacco, Belladama, Lure, Haze Gray, Sassy Soul, Ancestry Cigars, Valakari, MTS, Royalty Cigars.
Larry's gonna be there.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good lineup, bro. It's gonna be a really good lineup.
Dude,
We had
Larry,
Larry when Larry first came out with his product, and let me tell you, I absolutely love his stick, man. You get that plum
yes.
taste, it's just that sweetness with some a little earthiness. It's a great combination. I'm looking forward to it, because there's a lot of guys that you've already mentioned that I've not have yet to smoke. He's a spoiler alert. We are gonna have Haze Gray. Is it right? Haze Gray?
Yep.
On the
Haze
16th.
Gray, yeah.
Yeah, Rue. Is it Rue? I want to make sure I get his name right.
Rui.
Rue.
Rui.
We're gonna have him.
Rui.
We're gonna have him on the 16th, which was purposely done because I wanted to get certain things done prior to, like we have other events and stuff like that. He's gonna be in and partaking in. So we're gonna have him after that event. That's actually this weekend. We'll talk about that towards the end. So here's like, to me, like, and it's going backwards a little bit now in regards to the conversation we just had in regards to having these guys smoke cigars, putting these boutique cigars in these guys' hands. And this is a philosophy that I truly believe in. That if you are a true enthusiast, right? If this is no longer a hobby and this is a lifestyle, how do you deprive yourself from trying something new,
Right.
right? Like, how do you? And this is what I love about the boutique, companies that are coming now. Those who have been there for a while and those who are up and coming. You know, to me, I do love that them exploring and throwing blends that the average person wouldn't do. I'm absolutely, like, I'm ecstatic. And I said it, not to get political, but I know the tariffs brought up a lot of issues in the cigar world, and we had a conversation about that. I
Yeah.
truly felt strong, and I believe that now even more, that boutique cigars you're gonna see a massive uprise because of the price point on them, right? Because most boutique cigars aren't 16, 17, $18.
No.
And if you're out,
Right.
if you coming out, and this is just my opinion, those who are watching and you got a new cigar, don't shoot the panda. You shouldn't be nowhere between this. You shouldn't be. No, listen. You shouldn't be at the 16, 17, $18 mark. It's a hard sell,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know. But at the same token, it's kind of hard for 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 them to create a cigar at market value, right? Because we all know the Keystone pricing, 50, 50, 50, and it all goes down to the consumer. The stick, it
Hmm.
might cost you one thing, but guess what? The banding, the cello, the freaking boxes, the wrapping,
Exactly.
all that adds up, and
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
it drops down all the way to the consumer. So to me, I think if you're a true enthusiast of cigars, you need to go out there and explore. Legacies are always and forever going to be there. And to
Yeah.
me, I'm willing to try and gamble on a new cigar. And 'cause let me tell you guys, I recently had I guess he's legacy. I'm not going to mention his name. You know, it was an $18 cigar, and I was extremely excited to smoke the cigar. And I could have not been more disappointed in this cigar,
Yes.
especially from who it came from, and it goes to show you that, just because the price point is up there doesn't mean that it's going to be a great smoking cigar, you
Nope.
know, because that same
Right.
individual had the
Exactly.
$23 cigar that was just as horrible as the $18 cigar that wasn't worth the 18 or the $23 cigar, and it sucks because I am a big supporter of this individual and his company. I was just extremely disappointed. Like, I can't wait for the Jacksonville, and obviously, there's other events that are coming on that are a lot of. What I see is that there's a lot of new um, promotions in regards to the boutique, because you got yourself with the Jacksonville Boutique
Hmm.
Festival. And as you guys know, this weekend is the TPA, the Product Association. That's going to be out in
Yep.
Wellington, Florida, and that's run by Ish. He's
Yep.
one of the, I guess, founding members, and that's going to be interesting. I believe they have 10 vendors there, and they're going to be, boutique cigar companies just the same. And like I
Hmm.
said, I'm looking forward to trying all these cigars because, as an
Yeah.
enthusiast, that's what I love to do. But what are you looking for? What should I say? Well, yeah, let's start with that. What are you looking forward to during this event? And then the second is, what are your expectations? Of this. What's this here?
And we'll baby oil for that weekend, Tom. God.
I want to know who allowed that up there. Who allowed that up there? Who posted
Uh,
that one?
that's too funny.
Nah, you quiet.
No,
It's all
man, I've been, working with these guys, for a while now, and I've had the pleasure to smoke most of the cigars. I've had Haze Grays, and I've had Sassy Soul, and Belladama, Lure, and so I've had the cigars, and I've talked to them, you know, very frequently. We have each other's phone numbers. We'll text. We'll call each other. And really, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is just meeting everybody in person.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
everybody has become such a family. You know,
Right.
that when something big happens with certain brand, and they're hitting me up like, "Yo, this just happened." Like they don't have to do that, but we have become that way. Become such a family, such friends that I can't wait to meet everybody.
I just PC'd myself, guys.
Mhm.
PC'd myself. I was just about to dump the ash, and he went all over me.
Well, Kurt
Oh,
said he's smoking a Belladonna Queen tonight.
Well, yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to all of it. You know what I mean? I really am. And as you guys know, I'll be hanging out with the Misfits. That weekend we ended up a group of us rented an Airbnb in St. Augustine, which is about a 45-minute ride south of Jacksonville. So I will be
yeah.
introducing these guys to my other stomping ground, my home away from home, and we're gonna have a blast. And I already told these guys. Um,
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think if I should say it. You know what? I'm gonna hold my comments because listen, yeah, listen. What you guys don't understand, like those who are most of these guys that are on now, we all almost on a daily basis socialize with each other on Discord.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And believe it or not, guys, my computer decided just to open up right now. And yeah, I know. So I'm gonna tell you, I am part of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different Discords.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful that everyone on every platform has invited me to partake in their Discord. That's what it's all about. It's about the big community and just to grow it bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think
Exactly.
this is what you guys are doing in Jacksonville. I think this is what Ish and these guys from TPA are doing. And to me, I would love to see down the road maybe a collaboration that we have a massive boutique,
Yes.
Oh
festival.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That everybody goes all out. You know what I mean? And really do it real big. And I
Yeah.
think it can happen. And honestly, I see it in the next couple of years because I really do believe, like I said, that boutique cigars, it's in the uprise. But the issue that the boutique companies are going to have is going to be within themselves,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's going to be the battle. That's going to be, it's like legacy versus legacy. You're going to have boutique owners. So, if you're a new individual coming out with a new cigar, what are you doing different than everybody else that's coming out with the cigar?
And you know what's crazy is there's more boutique brands right now eating the tariffs than there are legacy.
Yeah,
If that doesn't tell you something,
oh yeah,
they're fighting for their life.
yeah.
And like I said, people just need to stop being stubborn and they just need to try the damn cigars.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I've never heard of this brand. I've never heard of that brand. Well, okay, here's 3 samples, smoke them, and let me know if right or wrong. If you thought it was trash, if you loved it, let me know.
But you know what? I also blame, and I'm gonna put it out there. I blame lounge owners,
Yes,
their staff, the tobacconists. Because as a tobacconist, once again, you're supposed to be an enthusiast.
Right.
You should know
Yeah.
your
You should
consumer's
know.
palate. You should know your consumer's palate. Because guess what? Like I actually enjoyed this one, this King's Reserve.
yeah,
I actually enjoyed this one. Honestly, I like this one better than the Monarch.
yeah,
You know,
Right.
and and I could tell you, because the Monarch to me, honestly, and I'm gonna be completely transparent with you, Jess. I
Yeah.
think that cigar, it's a good cigar, but to me, I think it's just for me, it was just very one dimensional. I don't know why, but that's just how it came out. But it was a good cigar.
Yeah.
This cigar to me has more. It's a little bit more complex. Even on the retro hail, it's a lot better. You know what I mean? I really like this stick, and I have the other 3
Mm-hmm.
that I have in there that I can't wait to try. But to me, once again, as an enthusiast, it's important for me to be honest with the blend, right? Because if you're looking to tweak something, on something because you constantly hearing the same thing from multiple different people, then
yes,
you got to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
And to me, it's not about taking it personal. It's not about getting your feelings hurt, because you better have thick skin if you're going to join this game.
Dude. And the best
Yeah.
thing you can do
Yeah.
to your friends is be honest, especially when it comes to a cigar.
Absolutely.
I mean, there can't be any hard feelings because, as you said, it's all subjective. You know, you might get 15 notes out of a cigar, but PC might get one. It's
Right.
subjective. And
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the thing is, like, people don't realize, like, flavor profiles on a cigar is not saying, oh, this tobacco leaf tastes like pepper and leather. No,
Right.
it's all subjective because it all depends on how you grew up, what foods you ate, what, you know what I mean? Because that's what triggers all those flavors.
Right.
Yep.
And man, you got to realize, to Pete's point. He was talking about, boutique cigars are, may get to the point to where boutique cigars are battling each other. But as we know, just by the trip in Tampa, there's enough room for everybody out there to make their way, because if you ever go to Tampa, there's a strip of cigar shops and rollers on that strip. And I have never seen so many shops thrive in one area. So it's all about how you promote your stick. You got to put yourself out there. You got to have your labels. You got to talk yourself up at all times,
Exactly.
and just be out there.
You got to be confident about it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got to be confident. If you look like you're, nobody's gonna want it. You know,
strong
come in. You know, head high, chest out. Yo, you have
Coming
to
in
smoke
hot.
this because this is gonna be the best thing you've smoked all year.
Yeah.
That's how your attitude should be.
Yeah,
Listen, marketing is huge.
yeah.
And a lot of the boutique brands
Of
are
course, listen, marketing and what I say, and boots on the ground.
yes.
You gotta go out there and promote your cigars.
Uh-huh.
You can't rely on a very small group for your cigar company to blow up. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
You can't have your your cigars being sold on one platform and not on another.
Yeah.
Right? You got to go out there and promote and promote and promote. You got to be in people's faces. But there's
Exactly.
also a way of doing it, because Jesse, what you said earlier is so important, right? Because there's nothing worse than a rep come into somebody's lounge, and instead of you talking to the store owner or the lounge owner, the manager, that if you could give your cigars out, you just give sticks away like they're free.
Yep.
You know, hey, try this. You don't do that.
No.
Right.
It's a quick way for you to piss off management, piss off the owners.
Yep.
And guess what? They'll let you stay there for the moment, but guess what? I guarantee you they'll never promote your stuff ever.
Yeah, exactly. Because you got to remember, as a rep, that they make their money with cigars.
Right.
So if you're going into their lounge and just handing everybody a free cigar, they're not making money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I get it. You want everybody to smoke it and taste it, but you know what? You're not there at the moment for everyone. At the moment, you're there to convince the shop that they need it, so then everyone can smoke it.
Right. But see, that's the thing. You got to have decorum. You got to have a certain amount of etiquette when you go into these places. You got to think about the brick and mortars more so than you think about yourself. And if you get single minded, yeah, you're gonna have a problem down the road, because you're gonna tag yourself. And guess what? Just like this is a close knit community, the word will travel.
I was just about to say that. As big as it is a very small community.
Oh,
Exactly.
And store owners speak to each other.
Mhm.
They speak to each other because they're like, man, can you believe this guy came over here, man? Instead of asking, he just giving cigars away, to my customer. He ain't even that. You know what? That man would never step foot in my store again. It's a real. Listen. It's one of those things that you could be a little overzealous, right?
Right.
It's real easy for you to overstep your boundary, And the way you did it, Jesse, it's honestly, it's a really good way to say, hey, listen, man, I'm not just here to sell you my cigars, but I'm also here to support you and your lounge.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm gonna sit down.
And
have a drink.
Yeah, and don't show up to a lounge, bring cigars, and then that's it.
No.
Go to the lounge.
Yeah.
Right.
That,
Go to the lounge. Let them see you there once, twice, 3 times. You know what I mean?
but I'm gonna tell you, if I'm going into a cigar lounge or a store, the first thing I'm gonna do is get to know the tobacconist, because guess what? The tobacconist is the owner's best friend.
Absolutely.
They have conversations that most people can't even get to the owner.
Mhm.
And once you get the nod, then you can pretty much have as many conversations as you like. But you got to
Hmm.
build a relationship. You can't just walk into some place and not build a relationship.
Oh yeah, it's like
It
Exactly.
just doesn't happen. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
it's like
Mhm.
I know how to throw a punch, so I'm gonna get in the ring with Kimbo Slice. It don't work like that. Be confident, but you cannot be cocky. I mean, it's okay to
Right.
be overly confident, and you're putting your reputation as a rep, the brand's reputation on the line, and it's all based on the words you choose to say,
Right.
and you got to be good at, you only have, the first 30, 45 seconds. If you don't have his attention, he don't want your cigars. And I've learned
Exactly.
that the hard way. I've sat down and
Mhm.
talked to store owners and tobacconists for 5 minutes. I've talked to them for an hour and shared cigars with them.
Oh,
And the
cool.
ones that I talked to for 5 minutes are now in my account. But the guy I sat there for an hour and chit chatted with, he won't even answer my phone call.
But but JJ, you think about this. When I traveled to Alabama, I took your stick with me,
Mhm.
and I stopped off at my little halfway point lounge in Anniston, Alabama, and I sat there and talked with the owner. He made some great drinks for me and my wife, and I was like, "Have you ever heard of such and such? Blue Sky? I mean, Big Sky. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Big Sky." And he was like, "No." I was like, "Would you like to try the stick?" That's after I've bought cigars for me and my wife, drinks, and had a great conversation with him. He was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Next time I come through, let me know how you like it." So on the second trip, I went back and had a conversation with him. Did the same thing. Gave him another one of your sticks. He was like, "Hey, give your buddy my card to give me a call so that I can put his sticks in my shop."
Yeah.
So
Um,
you got to build that relationship. It can't be built on paper. It's got to be built on bricks.
right.
Yep.
And, and this is already a niche, the boutique's even smaller. So word to mouth is the best.
Absolutely.
Off of this podcast, if we get one person to try your cigars, one person, that's a success in
Bro,
my
I
book.
love it. Yeah,
Just one
absolutely.
person. We've already won at that point. And that's why I love this podcast. We're not gonna, 100,000 people ain't gonna feel it, but that one cigar, that might be that one person's, it's his new favorite line of cigars.
Yeah,
It's,
and now he's telling, 10 of his other friends.
yep, that's the
Right.
best way. Oh, will always be the best way.
So Jesse,
Exactly.
let me ask you this. So Lurch had a question here, and I'm going to rephrase the question a little bit here. But do you feel like the legacies are maybe feeling the pain a little bit and trying to get into the boutique game with these limited release cigars and
Absolutely.
they're feeling the pain. They're feeling the pressure
So
of this boutique uprising that we'll call it.
the funny thing about this is when Bryce came out with his Candela, right? Not a lot of people were pushing Candela, right? Then his Candela, got big and everybody started talking about it. And then out of nowhere, I see uh, an ad on, I think it was Instagram, I can't remember, but it was
You're welcome.
an Arturo Fuente Candela cigar. And I'm like, nah. And then I saw another one from a different brand. And I was like, bro, this is you. And Bryce was like, what do you mean? I was like, this is you. Candela has not been a thing for a long time. You come out with this, and now everybody is trying to push a Candela.
Right.
You know, and not the and not all the other boutiques. No, it was the big guys that I saw pushing their Candela.
Yeah. And there's I would say they're borderline legacy, but there's a handful of brands out there right now that are staying within the $8 to $12 price range, which where
Mhm.
the honey spot is for most boutique cigars. And it's not by coincidence. They know exactly what they're doing. And
They see it. Listen, they see it.
yeah.
You know, I
They're
mean,
riding
listen,
on the wall.
they're never going to change their high-end sticks, right?
No.
And this is what I say. You know what? The boutique world, they have rattled some cages.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
They have rattled some cages. And you know what? Good for them. You know, because you know what? These guys, you know, I don't care what tariffs they put on these cigars. Those legacy cigar companies will never go out of business.
No.
You know,
No.
you know, and the thing is that he's like, you know what? You keep raising your prices. You guys keep on because you know what?
Well, I mean,
It's
look
better
at
for the boutique guy.
like AJ. You know, when the factory burnt down, less than a month, that thing was running.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, that happens to any of us. That's
Close
it.
shop.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's your buddy. Hi, Don, JJ, PCG, and Miss Panda.
Wow. You know, what do I keep on saying, guys? Friends like this, who needs what?
Enema.
Uh-huh.
Who needs enemas when you got friends like this, guys? I'm just saying. Well, I just cracked open the 1792.
Dude, I'm
Hey,
telling you
there
what,
go.
price per performance on that 1792 small batch.
That's
That
it.
bourbon kicks butt off of bottles that are twice or even triple that price.
I love the small batch, man.
Dude, it's
I
so
hate what social media has done to it, though,
To what?
because no one used to know about that bourbon, and
Oh.
you used to pick it up for 15, 20 bucks.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
Then he got
absolutely
big,
right.
everybody knew about it, and now it's 40, 50 bucks, depending where you go.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
It's like, man, y'all took my really good cheap bourbon. Like, damn it.
Inexpensive bourbon. Inexpensive
it's
bourbon.
like
Inexpensive. You're
one
right.
of my favorite inexpensive is Evan Williams Black Label. It's not the best bourbon, but it's not a bad bourbon either. And for the price, I drink the shit out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll drink oh Jesus, my brain now. A double oak from
I got it right
Wolford.
Woodford
no,
Reserve.
not Woodford. I bet
Oh,
you he's got it though.
This
No,
double
it ain't
oak.
the Woodford though. But Woodford is good though. No, I'm talking about for like a cheap, a less expensive bottle. The not Wild Turkey. Why can I not remember the name of this damn bourbon now? Not Jack.
Take a sip of what you were drinking.
Man, I'm already finished it. I
Reset.
have to go back to the bar and grab something else. Shit.
Reverse.
Right?
Well, I'll tell you what,
Jesus.
Des, while you're thinking about that, we want to give a special thanks to our sponsors, the Guapos, thegarfather.com, where you guys can have your best cigar accessories. Go to thegarfather.com.
Yes, sir.
We're trying to get with Chris. Chris is still working out and fine tuning his website again. We'll have our discount promo codes shortly, and of course, Burn One. If you guys are watching, I told them we were going to be on. I'm sure they're watching. I want to give a shout out to my boys at Burn One. Love you guys. And let's talk about those curated cigars.
Man, and here we go.
What's going on, guys? This is your boy Panda, and your boy Panda has some great news. We have teamed up with Burn One Cigar Bar, located at 7328 Royal Palm Boulevard in Margate, Florida. Guys, Burn One Cigar Bar is your go-to destination for the finest selections of premium cigars at unbeatable prices. Step into a world of luxury and relaxation as you indulge in the smooth flavors and exquisite aromas of our carefully curated cigars collection. But that's not all. Burn One Cigar Bar has teamed up with us for an exclusive sponsorship opportunity just for you. When you call Burn One and purchase any box of cigars, you unlock a fantastic discount of 20% of your order using special discount code PANDA. You can contact Burn One at 954 970-970-0001 or on their social media pages, Facebook and or Instagram. Guys, don't miss this chance to elevate your cigar experience without breaking the bank. Visit Burn One Cigar Bar today, mention discount code PANDA, and treat yourself to premium cigars at incredible value. Hurry up, this offer won't last. Burn One Cigar Bar, where luxury meets affordability. And they ship nationwide. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, Jesse, that's my home lounge, bro. That's where
That's
I
what's up.
am. That's where I'm like part of the furniture.
Beautiful
You know?
place.
I'm telling you, man. So, Jess, before we end this, my brother, where can people find you on social media?
So you go Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. On Instagram and on TikTok, you just look for TobaccoGstix, and on Facebook, look for the TobaccoGstix fans page. So there's a page for the website, and I post a lot of things on there that I don't post in other places. And of course, go to the website TobaccoGstix.com and subscribe to the newsletter. I put a lot of different blogs in there, interviews with brand owners, and we always try to do a giveaway every month if possible. This month, I'm giving away a free ticket to Jacksonville. And that's open to just the subscribers. So if you want to win a ticket to Jacksonville, subscribe, and you might be the one.
Oh, that
And what's that? Which one is that? What's the newsletter's website?
It's on TobaccoGstix.com on my website, and it's right there on the front page. There'll be a QR code, and it'll say subscribe. And just go ahead and click that. Look for the confirmation email, and that's it.
That's awesome.
I
Jesse,
need to
man,
go
we
find-
greatly appreciate your time, bro. And like I said, we got to keep doing stuff like this, man, to keep on promoting small business owners. And once again, guys, if you are a new up-and-coming boutique cigar company and you want to join our podcast, we'll be more than happy to give you the free publicity. We have no problems. I'm definitely going to be giving out my card this weekend at the TPA, and I'll definitely be giving out our cards at the Jacksonville Boutique Cigar Fest. Once again, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Once again, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit all, so anytime we go live, you get notified, and we are here with you. And if one of you guys that are on live that want to come on, Pats, we still got to get you on here, man. We still got to work that out. We had that one day, and we had things crossed, and we weren't able to make it, but we definitely got to make that happen. One of our late hour smokes that we have, one of our segments that we created. So, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. What do I say, guys?
peace.